Here's a segment from this month's edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a new monthly local talk show.
Fall is a busy season at the United Way of St. Charles. A dedicated staff of only 5 people puts into motion workplace campaigns, numerous special events, and updated publicity to eventually raise over $2 million per year for charitable causes and partner agencies here within the parish. Those agencies serve residents with developmental disabilities, help our community recover from disasters, and ensure no family goes without adequate food, just to name a few. And there's training, planning, communicating, and organizing to be done. Luckily, some of that work goes toward what has become a signature local culinary tradition. With me to discuss the inner workings of the United Way of St. Charles is Executive Director John Diaz. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first, fall is, of course, a very busy season for you guys. Can you describe a little bit about the campaign and the process that you go through and some of the events that go along with it?
Sure. And just like you said, fall is where things, well, I guess it's sort of ironic. Fall is where things heat up, right?
Yeah.
In terms of our campaign. We get 75 or 80% of our revenue from industry in the area. We're very fortunate. We've got very generous industry partners in the area. So in the fall, there's really sort of 2 big activities going on. On one side, a lot of our staff and volunteers are heavily involved in doing talks at companies, explaining the value that the United Way brings to the community, and asking for donations. And another side of our staff is heavily involved planning the Battle for the Paddle, as you mentioned. Right. It's really grown into kind of the biggest, I heard somebody refer to it as the biggest block party in the area. So those are our two big things on the horizon right now this time of year. Okay,
great. So the past few years, United Way has made a lot of strides in some of the programs that it sponsors itself to help people out in the community. Can you tell us about maybe 1 or 2 of those and the good things that they do?
Sure. You know, the way to, we use the term community impact programs there, and sometimes I hesitate to use that because people don't know what that means. It's something, you know, it's an internal term, but the way to look at our programs is the United Way has always been great. I use the example when someone falls down. And, you know, I mean that figuratively, but, you know, we use the image that if someone has fallen over a crack in the sidewalk, the United Way is there to help them get picked up, get them medical care, get them this, get them that. We've started directing some attention to just fixing the crack in the sidewalk. Right. So how have we done that? We've started programs with our partner agencies where if someone has a financial need, we don't only give them the urgent dollars to pay that utility bill, but we enroll them in a program to teach them how to keep having that problem recur in the future. You mentioned talking about a couple of them. A new program there, we're calling it our CASH program, has to do with assets, savings, and hope. Creating assets, savings, and hope, cash, right? And it's a program where we're getting a group of folks who are willing to take this seriously, put some money regularly in a savings account, and then the United Way is going to actually match that by 4. It's a program, again, designed to help people prevent tripping over that crack in the sidewalk.
Right, that's so important, I think.
Yeah.
One common concern for people who are giving to charities and charitable organizations like the United Way is the amount that's spent on administrative services and not necessarily to the actual cause. Can you give us an idea of how much you guys spend on your administrative services, and then a little bit about how the donations are allocated?
Absolutely. It's the first question I would have, and I'm a donor myself, and I donate to other organizations. That's one of the first things I ask. The brief, direct answer is 9% of our costs are administrative. So that means 91% go right back into those agencies and those programs like the one I just described. To give you a frame of reference, there is an organization called LANO, the Louisiana Association of Nonprofits, that sets standards and benchmarks, and they recommend that a healthy nonprofit, their administrative costs should be under 25%. Well, we're at 9%, so we're doing a lot better than that. Then in terms of the allocation process, we have a very detailed, probably more detailed than our average donor wants to know, process where our agencies submit financial plans, requests, you know, I-9s, which is a federal filing form, their audits. And we have a team of volunteers. I say we a lot, but it's usually volunteers, just leaders in the community that meet with those agencies, screen those agencies, and make sure that those donor dollars are put to good use in the community.
Right. So a lot of focus on accountability, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, when we award an allocation to an agency, that isn't a lump sum. It's spread out throughout the year, and we ask that that agency report regularly on their progress.
Right, very good. So what do you think is the biggest misconception about United Way, and how did you guys try to correct that?
It's an easy one to answer. I don't know if it's easy to correct. The answer to the misconception is that people think that there is a big umbrella, giant United Way where dollars go and get spread around the country and things like that. And I understand why people think that. They see that logo on a national NFL commercial. My message is that, there are 1,100 United Ways. We're the United Way of St. Charles, and I think it's great for our community because our scope of service is just St. Charles Parish. If you donate a dollar, it stays in St. Charles Parish unless you ask it to go. So the biggest misconception is that the dollars are going somewhere else, paying for something else. And how we try to correct it is just let people know dollars are staying right here in this community to help people right in this community.
Right, and I think it's good to mention too that for people who are donating, they can, like you said, direct where they want their money to go. If they like the ARC as an organization, they can give just to that.
Absolutely. We have about 30 partner agencies. They're on our website. You can just Google United Way of St. Charles, and we list all those partner agencies.
Okay, well, that's very, very good. So let's wrap up with a little preview of Battle for the Paddle. Do you see where the competition is sort of heating up already?
I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I think with a lot of special events, all the registration comes at the last minute. So, so we had over 80 teams last year. We don't have any reason to think we won't have that or more this year. We've had great weather for the last few years, so hopefully that'll keep up. And we get a little over 2,000 people to the event. It's $5 for all you can eat. Children 10 and under are free. It's on October the 6th. And it's just a great local party. It's you're going to see your neighbor, you're going to see your coworker. It's a deal. Can't beat it for the money. So
definitely. So go ahead and give the contact information for United Way if anybody needs any information about things we talked about today.
You bet. Our website is a great resource, and there's links there to everything. Again, it's www.uwaysc.org. But when in doubt, just do a search for United Way of St. Charles and we'll come up. And then our phone number is 985-331-9063. If folks are interested in volunteering, being part of the organization, give us a call. If they're interested in donating, we'd love to hear from you too. Just want info on our events, check us out.
I have to give a plug too. You guys are on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. That's right.
Yep. All right, well, thank you very much for all the good information.
I appreciate it.
Catch the entire episode right here on Channel 6, daily at 5 p.m. or watch anytime at scptoday.com.